Welcome to the Lightworker podcast. I am your host, Natalie Grant. I am a lightworker, a meditation facilitator, Reiki master, and a health and wellness enthusiast who thrives on helping people. Connection is my superpower, and I just love bringing people to a space where transformation can occur. Are you looking for information on being a lightworker? Are you a lightworker and just love collecting knowledge from other lightworkers? You see how we used to live versus seeing how we could live, and being sort of in the middle of that at the moment and trying to work out where I belong.
Do you know, and I actually feel like we're all in that space, to be honest, because this year, especially, I don't know if you felt this, my personal feeling with the energy is, and no doubt talk about this, but...
Well, let's talk about it now. Casey,
okay.
Thank you for being here.
Welcome
to the Lightworker podcast. This is just how we roll. We just sort of get in there and start somewhere.
You are hilarious. I love that. I'm ready to go, so let's do it.
This is the beautiful woman from Melbourne Reiki. And thank you for coming and being with me.
Yes, my pleasure. I'm excited to be here.
So tell me, what are you feeling is going on this year? Because this is where we're going.
I know. This year, 2026, I feel like is a massive year. I feel like time is just so stretchy, and just we're moving through all two different timelines and collapsing timelines and jumping timelines, and I feel like that's why you can't remember necessarily everything from the past, because you're on a completely different frequency now. And so to recall something that was on a previously different frequency, not better or worse, low or high, but just different, like it takes a lot, because we have to then shift our frequency to get into that same frequency to then recall that memory. So I feel like that's possibly maybe some aspect of things as well, but for me, I feel like I'm having all these wild dreams. I'm like having a lot of premonitions lately. Like I've had premonitions before, but these are vivid, and they're being confirmed like very quickly, which is amazing.
Awesome.
And just I feel like, a client came in the other day and she was like, oh, last year, May 2025, and I typed it in my notes and I looked at the date and I was like, that was 10 years ago. Like literally in my head, I was like, that can't be last year. And I had to look at the date again and again, and I could not comprehend it. I'm like, that's not 1 year ago. That was 10 years ago. It was so bizarre now. It was like in that moment, I don't know, I just couldn't like connect back to that same frequency. And I feel like that's my body, my mind, my whole being is in a completely different place. Like same as you, I don't even remember who I was. Like last year was so long ago.
Right. Last year was so long ago. And just following on from the now perspective and seeing how you're relating to your reality and how people are relating to you, and then working out, for me, it's how can I be effective in my reality?
Yes. Yeah.
And so that I can then create a life that is, for me, joyful and fulfilling, right? Yeah. And the things that used to fulfill me aren't really fulfilling me now.
Same. I've been saying this to so many people. Like the things that I wanted before, I don't want anymore. The things I thought I needed, don't need. Like what I thought where I was going, no, turned in a completely different direction. It's so bizarre. It's this huge identity shift, I feel.
Well, and also even just having that awareness of what you did identify with previously, compared to where you're at now, and sort of, just for me, it's like I just need to pause.
Yeah,
same. I just need to actually pause and just be here. And I've been, for me, focusing on the martial arts and just, my meditations, and yes, still doing work, of course, but I've been sort of needing to, for my own well-being, health, life, just really focus on the routine of presence and seeing where that kind of takes you. Yeah. Rather than trying to have everything planned out to the nth degree, because the plan changes.
Yeah, so quickly. Yeah, so quickly.
So, and it has to change because one thing that might have felt like what I needed to be doing yesterday, all of a sudden you've got this um like not negative thought towards it or this, but it's like this isn't for me now. It
Yeah,
was for me, but now it's not. And
yeah,
this feels right.
yeah.
Oh my God.
Having the space to allow that to happen, I think, is like that's the presence, right? Like, okay, well, let's just be in the moment and trust that whatever I need will unfold at the right time, and instead of having to like try and control everything to the nth degree.
Yeah, and I
Mm.
think injuring my foot nearly 5 years ago now. What are we now? 26, 4 years ago.
Um,
Injuring my foot really helped me to properly sit in the now moment and pay attention to what is that body part trying to show me? What am I not seeing? What am I not experiencing? What am I, like, what is it that continues to kind of reinfect this scab, if you like? I keep picking it.
Lovely, great.
Why do I keep
That
picking this
vision.
scab? And it's so interesting because once I really figured out what that foot was trying to share with me, I then just kept doing what it had shown me to do,
Yeah.
and then it's put me into this position now of just really like, I'm here.
Mm,
I'm here in this now moment. I'm observing what's going on around me. I'm seeing the suffering that humans are going through, and I'm seeing that they all have to go through it
mm,
to figure out their own learnings and their own lessons to get to
yeah,
where they've got to go.
exactly.
And, as Reiki teachers, I mean, that's what we're aiming to do for ourselves, but then also aiming to share with other people
Yeah,
how to help facilitate that, the connection of, okay, this is happening for me, not to me.
it's a big one.
And, and then, yeah, just for a little while at the moment, it's just being in that space of, oh, I've put those pieces together. And now I'm seeing what the aftermath of that actually is. But all of us are doing that every day. Like
Yeah,
you're doing that
yeah.
with what your
Everything.
jaw is teaching you.
Yeah, so many things. There's always lessons coming, and they come in all sorts of forms, right? Like, I
Yeah.
think I resonate with what you're saying because I also like I manifest on the physical so fast. I have a thought
Yeah.
and then I have an issue. I'm like, oh, but I think other people manifest in different ways. It might manifest in thought forms or mental health issues, or life in shows up in so relationships or whatever. But yeah, I definitely, for me, everything shows up in my physical body. But it's teaching me to really listen and to really understand what each little niggle or pain or ache or even the bigger problems, infections and so on, like what are they actually revealing? And there's always layers, right? I think when I first started on this healing journey like a long, long, long time ago.
Yeah, share that. When you first started on your healing journey, what
Yeah.
was the thing that triggered it for you?
Oh god, I don't even like so many. I've been sick my entire life, like I had glandular fever when I was a kid. I always had constipation issues. I was always worrying about this, that, whatever. And then, got into I was always obsessed with mindset and psychology, so I studied that at uni and behavior and energy, and got into energy as well. One of my first boyfriends, his father-in-law was an energy healer, so I was a guinea pig. I think I was like 19 at the time, and yeah, like I still remember the first one. I sat there in the chair and he was putting his hands. It was a dark room and I didn't know what the hell was going on. And I was
Yeah.
like, this is nice and relaxing, whatever. And I was there for family dinner and yeah, I didn't make dinner. I just fell
Oh,
asleep.
wow.
I cried and cried for like an hour afterwards and I just fell asleep and I slept for like 12 hours. So yeah, I don't really remember much of that night, but it was amazing because that was really eye-opening. I didn't really know what was happening at the time, but I always knew I was sensitive, but yeah, didn't really understand. And then that was through uni, so I had a few more of those. And then over the years, I had this health issue and gut issues again and more gut issues, and
Yeah.
then all sorts of other things, along the way. And really serious, but also like I always feel like the universe is very interesting because, and my body as well, it takes me to the point of being really, really bad, like so much pain, but not so bad that I end up in hospital. But just constant, like long, like chronic journeys, 3 years of not being able to eat anything other than white rice and broccoli and a couple of bananas every day. I dropped down to like 42 kilos. I couldn't eat anything. I was so sick, but yet like no one could find an answer, right? And I was just like tearing my hair out. But I think the one positive thing about, or the one thing that I'm really glad that I've got, and it works in the light and the shadow, of course, is grit and resilience. So I remember just being like, this is not my life. Like I'm not gonna. I can't be doing this for the rest of my life. Like I can't be eating rice and broccoli for the rest of my life and not being able to go out, not being able to see friends, not being able to do anything or function. Like I cannot do that. So
Yeah.
I remember, I just remember this so distinctly. I was sitting on the floor next to my bed at midnight one night, Googling forums and following threads and just on a trail of different things. And then I found this thing called, well, it's basically kinesiology, but it was a specific form of that. It's actually technically banned in Australia, but, it's just because it's misunderstood. And yes, anyway, I found a practitioner and it was a miracle. 3 months, like I was sick for over 3 years, and 3 months later, it's like nothing had ever happened. I was back to normal, and I was
So,
thinking, what
so
the
that,
hell?
because without, you probably can't say what it is, but like we understand that kinesiology is muscle testing. So using the body's wisdom
Mm,
to
mm,
ask some questions and to
yeah,
get some answers
yeah,
from your body, from your
mm,
subconscious, from what is right for you to do
yeah.
versus what somebody else thinks is right for you. So would that be true that that was a method that you used to help you figure out what was going on?
Yeah, it's true. And there was also, so there was more to the story actually. I found a kinesiologist who did a lot of like mindset coaching and other stuff too, but she was a true kinesiologist in the form of like muscle testing or whatever. And then she used essential oils to help clear things as well. So I'd been to Bali, I'd obviously picked up some bacteria. I'm sure it didn't start there. I'm sure it started before that. I was working in corporate at the time, corporate HR, which is my first career out of uni, but I knew I wanted to get in health and well-being, so I volunteered at Gwingana Health Retreat actually for a month, which was amazing. But something was happening there, and I'm like, I don't really know or understand. But I mean, internally there was a shift that was going on,
Yeah.
but I just didn't understand. But I remember feeling like bloated and just uncomfortable, and like I didn't know what was going on. And then a few months later, I went to Bali and obviously picked up some, bug or whatever,
Yeah.
um, and yeah, I'm struggling to actually remember. It's talking about remembering
Yeah,
really.
right.
I was in Jakarta and I was dancing because I was semi-professional Latin and ballroom dancer. So I was doing a wedding over there, speaking about weddings, and dancing, whatever, and it was all wonderful. And then right after the performance, funny enough, like spirit, like perfect timing, all of a sudden I ended up in the bathroom for like 3 hours, and then it was just like the usual Bali belly for maybe 3 or 4 days, but I just never got better, and it just got from bad to worse. And then it was like I can't eat this, and now I can't eat that, and now I can't eat anything, and now I can't think properly, and then I was 9 months pregnant all the time. I couldn't wear pants, like it was really bad. I had to wear like just long kind of slip things. It was just like, yeah, yuck. Anyway, but more so than that, like it affected my mood and my thoughts. I was just angry all the time, like raging at everyone.
Yeah.
Felt very bad for everyone that lived around me or was in my world because they copped it. But I couldn't control it. I didn't know what was happening.
Yeah.
And even more frustrating, spending thousands and thousands of dollars on gastroscopies and colonoscopies and this and that, and like nothing ever worked. Um, and then yeah, I found this kinesiologist, and she was like, "Oh, testing, and oh, there's a parasite, and there's bacteria, and there's this and that, and so take this essential oil to make it in like a little capsule thing, and then ingest it.
Yep.
10 days. Oh my god, the burping and the farting was so bad, like really bad,
Yep.
and then that killed the bacteria and the parasite. But my body was, after so long, had become used to and hypersensitive to all food. So I
Yeah.
still couldn't eat or tolerate anything, and everything would give me a reaction. So that's when I found this other form of kinesiology, and that rebalanced. Like rather than, I'd be sensitive to gluten, for example, my body would react badly. So
Mm.
then it would just be rebalancing my body and creating resonance rather than dissonance with that particular strain. So that was phenomenal. It was a pain in the ass in the terms of like every time I go for a treatment, then I'd have to cocoon myself for 25 hours afterwards. I couldn't touch or eat or think about or look at whatever she's treated me for.
Wow. Okay.
Like the systems, like 12 meridians plus an extra hour for reintegration and balancing. So it was a whole thing. Yeah, it was a pain in the ass. But at that point, I was like, one day, like, who cares? Like, and I still remember after the fifth session, I think I had maybe 20 sessions.
Yeah.
Um, I went to the supermarket and bought bread because the fifth session was gluten and wheat and all that stuff. And I thought, no way. Like, I love bread. I love eating bread so much. And I haven't, been able to eat it for 3 years or something. And
Yeah.
took one little bite of bread, sat there like waiting for 20 minutes because that's usually what, how long it took for a reaction. I had nothing and I was like, okay, eat another little thing of bread, no reaction. By the end of the day, I'd eaten the entire loaf of bread. I think I didn't eat anything else for the day. So, normally people are like, oh, just slowly integrate. I did not do that. I just like inhaled the loaf of bread,
Yeah.
uh, ate the entire thing, like just bread and butter for the
Yeah.
whole
Well, after 3 years of not having
after
something that
3
you
years.
love so much and then all of
Yeah,
a sudden being
yeah.
able to.
Yeah, but that's how amazing it worked and how amazing my body responded because obviously everyone's bodies are different. But,
Absolutely.
um, like the slow and steady, a little bit, reintroduce it. Like, I was like, no, like it didn't work. Like, I just went slam, like just all
Yeah.
or nothing. But that was the first time that something clicked in my mind that I was like, holy moly, like this energy stuff is. I thought it was black magic. I was like, this is something is happening and I need to know more because my body clearly responds to this so fast. 5 sessions after 3 years of trying everything Western and
Yeah.
it worked. I was like, well, obviously this is the path for me. So
So this person was using muscle testing and
yeah,
and
rebalancing in it's basically an form of energy healing.
energy healing. Yeah, okay, cool. Because it's just interesting because everybody now there's so many different
Yeah,
different ways that you can work with energy and different practitioners offering so many different kinds of sessions
yeah,
that I know that people are interested always in what was it that was your defining point? What was it that worked for your body? But not from the perspective of, oh, I've got to go and do that, but
no,
from the perspective of here's, you walked the path and you found a practitioner that was in alignment with you
yes,
that could actually work with you and your body, and
mm,
you felt comfortable and safe with that person, I'm betting.
yeah,
So therefore, your body could do what it needed to do
those things are
to
true.
heal itself.
Yes,
And that's not to say
yeah.
that you weren't probably doing some Western stuff at the same time as
I was
the
doing
kinesiologist. You were doing all of it?
I wasn't doing any
You
Western stuff.
weren't doing any Western stuff. You'd done
Yeah,
the Western and
I've
then you
done it.
needed to
I've
shelve it
done
because that
it.
wasn't working. You
Yeah,
had to look for something else. Yeah,
that
okay.
was, yeah, it was
Because
just like
everyone's journey is so different. Sometimes that happens that way, where
yeah,
your boots in over here and you
yeah,
have to get out because nothing's happening, and
yeah,
then you go boots in over here and then something does change, and then you've got other people that need to be boots in both
yes,
to
yeah.
get something done.
And different things for different times. Like at that point, I needed to go all out energy work and that sort of healing.
Mm,
Um, but I've since I'm very much in hand in both camps now because but it also just depends. Like for
yeah,
certain things, this is what I need, and for other things, like my mouth infection, I had to take antibiotics, which I had so much. I'd had a trauma response with antibiotics through my Kundalini awakening, which is like the last 5 years or whatever, and that made things significantly worse. It was really awful. So to then have to take that again, I had to really like, okay, do all the EFT tapping and really work on my mindset, and also Reiki the antibiotics and make sure I was in resonance with that, clear all the negative thoughts in my mind. Like I did a lot of work around having to take them again,
yeah,
um,
cool.
but I took them and they healed. Like it actually cleared the infection very fast. So
Amazing.
a lot of other things that other things that happened then in my jaw and mouth that have happened since then, flow on effect. But that wasn't antibiotic related. That's all sorts of other things. So
Yeah,
they don't like. I think having a limited mindset around, no, I'm never going to do that, or I'm never going to do that. I think you have to be open, like because you never know, like what your body needs in that moment might be that thing, but what it needs in 5 years time might be that thing. So yeah, I'm much more open minded now.
yeah. So what would your process be for you to figure that out? Because that can be interesting for people to know that
Yeah.
when you were getting no result from
Mm.
having that gastrointestinal issues and the bacteria and all the rest of it, and then how did you come across this other practitioner that did something different? Like how did that come into your sphere as an option?
Yeah, I don't know. I was Googling and following forums, and I found the first kinesiologist first, but she was really expensive for me at the time when I was pretty young. I was early 20s. Um, so I was like, oh God, like, I don't know if I can afford that. $220 for one session. I don't even know if it's going to work. Like,
Yeah.
so I put it off for about 8 months. But I had it in my back, like, pocket somewhere. And then Dad was like, oh, do your colonoscopy and do your gastroscopy and do this and do that. And I was like, okay, I'll try that. And then obviously nothing worked. Oh, can't find anything. It's fine. It's a bit inflamed. And then all the opinions. Oh, you probably have this and you probably have that. And by the end, I was like, shut up. Like, I know my body and it's none of those things. I know there's something else. Um,
Yes.
and then I ended up going to this kinesiologist and just taking a leap of faith. And honestly, it was the best thing I ever did because I recorded the session. When she told me everything, I'm getting emotional now. Oh my God. Yeah, like to have someone to actually hear you. Sorry. I blame the full moon.
Never apologize for tears. Let
Yeah.
them come, because
Oh,
this is what it is, and this is why I asked the question.
yeah. And
So
actually,
thank you.
it's funny, like the thing that people need the most is just to be heard and just to feel understood. Honestly, like, and to have people constantly expressing their unsolicited opinion is like the actually doing so much more harm than people realize. Um, and I think this lady, it wasn't just that she could listen and hear me, but it was also that she had the capacity and the ability and the knowledge to actually help me. And that was amazing. So the essential oil that she gave me, I was just like, this is phenomenal. Like I never thought that something like this would be so healing.
Mhm.
And it was scary. Like, I have to admit, it was scary to take something that I had to make myself, like, she was helping me, but to take essential oil and ingest it, it goes against everything that you know. Like, you read everything,
Well, that's what I
like,
mean.
it'd be
I did an
around.
aromatherapy course, and that was one of
Yeah,
the things that they
yeah,
said not to do.
yeah,
However,
yeah,
in some situations,
yeah.
um, it's the only thing that works.
It's the only thing that works. Well, I
But
mean,
it's got to be, it's not true for everyone. And that's why
no,
actually having your body tested by
yeah,
somebody is, I
yeah.
think, very important. So,
And someone who's not biased, you can't have your friend or your family member do it, or even yourself, because you are swayed by your own thoughts and your opinions. So having someone that was outside of my realm, who didn't know me, who wasn't impacted by the result either way, I think that gives you a very clean um, like answer when you muscle test. And also she was very practiced. She'd been doing this for many years. So
yeah.
definitely the right person to help me. But yeah, I mean, there was definitely a lot of fear.
But the
But
main thing is that someone heard you.
yeah,
Someone was willing to just sit there and hear
yeah,
your story of what you'd been
yeah,
through
yeah.
and just listen,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then go to work with you,
Yes.
like as a partner, as opposed
Exactly.
to someone dominating you,
Yes.
to find and
Exactly.
unearth the answers together.
Mhm. And it's funny
Powerful.
because the initial root cause, was multiple effects. There was parasites, yes, but before that, there was also I was not in alignment. It wasn't meant to be working in corporate. I was doing way too much. I was dancing around the clock. Like I was exhausted. I was burned out. Like there was so many other factors as well that
Yeah.
then led to this. And obviously the gut. You hold a lot of anxiety and worry there, or at least I did anyway. Everyone holds things everywhere. But for me, didn't even start with me. It was ancestral, right? So there was so many factors laid into one thing, which is why I think for me and what I see with my clients and with my other healer friends and what I teach is that it's so frustrating when people try and, they hear, oh, you've got a jaw infection. Oh, what are you not saying? Oh, you've got an ear, blocked ear. Oh, what are you not hearing? And they jump to these, seemingly helpful questions when it's like, that's not, shut up. There's so many layers. And what we need the most is for someone to actually hear our story and then ask supportive questions in a non judgmental way in a space where you can feel safe and heard, where you've actually got a rapport with that person. So
I
you
think the rapport is the most important thing.
Yeah.
because a
100%.
person has to feel like they're able to open up with you.
Yes, and feel safe
Because
and
otherwise you're just like the girlfriend that gives the opinion, or
yeah,
you're just, you know,
dominating person that thinks they know everything and yeah,
and
like
that person's not coming from wanting to harm anyone. They're
no,
coming from love, but they
yeah,
themselves don't realize the formula is that each of us has a personal responsibility to come to this
yes,
information ourselves.
yes, and something that you told me actually during session, and I've always remembered it, and it's been
Oh,
something
interesting. What did I say?
probably from many different ways, but it's, you give, I think you, the words you used was give people their hearts back.
Yeah.
And for me, I say it in a different way of like, believing people can heal, like believe in that person can heal, and that person can reach their answer themselves. And it's, you learn so much by uncovering it, unpacking it yourself, not when someone tells you, because then
Yeah.
you miss the whole journey. Then it's like getting in a helicopter and flying to the top of the mountain. You learn how to get fit and rest and breathe and hike when you're challenged, you're going up the mountain yourself. But just have someone, oh, that's the answer. That's not helping me actually at all. It's like bypassing the whole learning journey in the first place.
Yeah, because it feels like the only way that I've been able to describe it to myself that makes any sense
Yeah,
is that we've been gifted these bodies, right? These
yeah,
bodies come pre-programmed like a computer.
yeah,
Half the programs are completely irrelevant to what life we're currently living.
yes,
And we're living in these bodies, reacting and interacting with different people
mm,
with all of these programs, and we've not vetted whether they're useful to us or not.
yeah. And I think
We
part of
forgot that we're the operators of the
that,
system instead of letting the system operate us.
exactly.
And that, I believe, is a lot of the reason that we're here this time round with this kind of awareness, because
Yeah,
I'm sure well, I know because I've looked at a lot of different lives that I've lived where I didn't have that knowledge. I didn't have
yeah,
the ability to sit and pause long enough to see I have a choice
yes,
in and see that actually I am learning with every mistake that I make. I'm
mm,
actually learning and growing, and with every teacher that crosses my path, I'm actually becoming more and more aware. Where I've seen other lives where there wasn't the time to do that, because
yeah.
literally someone's got an axe out and they're about to lop your head off. And so if you didn't have that pre-programmed system, you wouldn't have survived.
No,
So
exactly.
some of these things that we're grappling with now are ghosts from our past
Yeah,
that are obsolete,
yeah,
and we've got to figure that out ourselves.
exactly.
If
And
we're going to get wherever we're going, we need to be able to start working with our physical bodies very differently to how we've been doing it.
oh, so differently. And I think you hit the nail on the head there with like healing is not just the spiritual, it's also the mind, it's also the feeling and the emotion, it's also the physical body.
Yeah.
And we often get stuck in one box. And I think
Yes.
that's, it's so common, right? Like, oh, we're just gonna like pass everything to spirit or like call on spirit to like save us or rescue us or
I've
um,
asked for everything that I
you
have and it's not here.
exactly.
Right? I've done all of the things, I've manifested, I'm meditating and all the rest of it, but
Yeah,
actually a lot of the time, especially on the journey, we've actually forgotten that there is a physicalness to us
yeah,
currently,
yeah,
and we're co-creating with other people in our experience,
right.
and we can't up level on the computer game we're in until we actually do all of the quests
Yeah, I know all of them.
that are on the level,
I
you know? It's
sometimes you
like,
gotta learn
we've
that
got to go
lesson.
and gather this from that person and that knowledge over there from this one, and we have to go
Yes,
and do this here
yeah,
before we can actually do the up leveling. We have to cross paths with certain people and learn certain things ourselves, and it's unhelpful when one of the people in the game tell you something, because you can just knowing it from a thought perspective is different to a lived body
oh,
embodied experience.
correct. Yeah, I love that analogy, and I use the analogy of video game all the time, but not to the extent of like everyone, we've got to go collect the gold coin from that person and from that person and do all the quests. And I love that. I'm going to remember that for sure.
Because
And
that seems to be the only thing that
it
makes
makes
any
sense.
sense to me.
Me too, to be honest. Me too.
Right?
And there are levels.
And you do have to have certain experiences to really know something.
Yes.
And, for different people, it's different things. Like, I know for you and I, we've had to have the path of working with entity, right? Working with ghosts and other beings that are in the non-physical space. But we also don't spend all of our time in that space
No.
because that's not healthy either. Do you know?
Balance of energy again.
If
Yeah.
we drop into that space where all that's lit up again, we do something that's going to help get us out of that space very quickly.
Yeah.
As opposed to kind of cozying up and completely living in that experience. So,
I think it's tempting. Like, I think I see a lot of, people walking the spiritual path, and it's so tempting to just live in that world.
well, yeah, because there's actually so much that you can learn from living in that space,
Yeah.
but it can become very toxic very quickly if you don't realize that you've actually got this world that we're physically living in. The only reason you're visiting those other spaces is to try and get you to live more effectively in the physical world.
Exactly.
So you can complete the level and
Correct.
move on to the next.
Yes. So true. That's exactly what it is. And I think that's the part, we are in shamanic practitioner, like we're the hollow bone, and we live in this sacred middle space. You've got the spirit and you've got the physical, and then our job is to join them or to make sense of pulling them. Like, how do we work with spirit? How do we work with the physical? And then, live the life that we're actually meant to, because everything as it's, is as it's meant to anyway. But yeah, and for some people, like us, we work a lot in the spiritual, but if you don't have that physical balance, I mean, the scales tip very quickly.
Oh,
So,
they do, 100%. So tell me, once you've kind of balanced all that and then the gut came good, like what was it that got you into Reiki?
well, that actually got me into Reiki because I really wanted to learn how to do this for myself, because I don't like depending on other people, and I think at that point I'd been, 3 years of trauma really. And
Yeah,
so I was like, well, if this happens again, like, I need to know what to do.
yeah,
uh, and the lady that I was seeing, she was quite old, so she was going to retire soon, and I'm like, this is something that I like, not many people do, in all honesty, in Australia. Like, how do I learn this?
yeah,
Just got to the point, and I tried for probably about 3 or 4 years, where I was inquiring here and inquiring there, but it just was like you had to jump through that loop and you had to go through that hurdle, and it was too hard. Like, I was just getting blocked, and I'm thinking, okay, like, I
you
think
surrender. This isn't my
yeah,
path.
yeah. But at that point, it was still early 20s. I didn't really understand all of the spiritual stuff that I do now. I
Yeah,
just was getting frustrated. Like, why am I not being able to learn this?
yeah,
Mm. So then I just was looking at other energy work. And to be honest, at that point, I remembered the boyfriend that I had and his father-in-law, and the energy work that kind of triggered that memory again. And I was like, oh, and we'd long broken up by that point. But I ended up calling his parents and just being like, oh, hey, like, what was the energy work? Do you remember when you did that thing? And so anyway, he told me, but when I Googled it, I was like, this thing is so hard to find. I don't know. Like, it just felt very obscure.
yeah.
It wasn't Reiki. It was, I don't even remember, something else. But the thing that kept popping up again and again was Reiki this, Reiki that, Reiki. And I was like, okay, maybe, maybe Reiki's the thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And then I can't remember when I was like late 20s or something. I can't remember exactly. But
That's
anyway,
okay.
time, I don't know. But I was teaching yoga, so I did get out of the corporate life, and then ended up teaching yoga full time. So I think I was in corporate for maybe 7 years, and then ended up teaching yoga for almost 10 years full time. So there was kind of a crossover. And then, yeah, I learned Reiki level 1, which was amazing, because after that, my entire life changed. Broke up with the boyfriend I was with at the time, moved house, like, quit my job, like, everything, all the things just, like, collapsed, but in a good way.
It was
But
amazing how level 1 Reiki can
oh,
realign people
huge.
back onto their true
Yeah.
path.
Yeah. And I think, like, I was already on the path teaching yoga, because I was so into the philosophy. Like, that was the thing that got me into yoga in the first place. It wasn't even the asana practice or the physical. It was the mindset stuff and the belief and the spiritual practice. And then the yoga industries, I think it's gone way into a different realm now. I think it's so far away from the where it started really. But I didn't mind. Like I was dancing and I was doing yoga and it was all very physical based. But I was trying my best to incorporate some of the mental stuff. I'd studied NLP and life coaching and this mindset thing and that mindset thing. I was really into learning all of that. Studied psychology at uni.
Yeah.
So I was trying to like merge the two together, and at that point I was like, oh, like this is amazing, life is great, this is wonderful. And then actually even before Reiki Level 1, my mum passed in 2014, so that was a kick up the bum into the spiritual realm. And also more healing and all sorts of health issues
Absolutely.
came up for that, of course. So that was a big life turning event. And then a year after that is when I met the second guy that I was really only in love with. Two guys in my life. They were the two. There was other, little relationships in the middle, but yeah. And then throughout that relationship, that's when I learned Reiki 1, and then that's when I learned Reiki 2, and then that relationship ended. And then yeah, moved away, like further down the coast, for a year, just because I needed to clear my head and sit on the sand on a Wednesday afternoon and watch the ocean, uh,
Yeah.
as you do. And then yeah, after Reiki Level 2, there was a gap. There's actually quite a big gap between Reiki 1 and 2 for me. Like I think I needed that time to just sit and integrate, and really, like, a lot was changing on the inside. There was like really, I felt like the tectonic, shifts were really happening somewhere that I couldn't comprehend. And then once I did Reiki Level 2, I was like, right, that's it. And to be honest, I'd actually thought I was over yoga by that point, so over it, and I just wanted to do something else. And I actually started like a real estate, like, kind of business. Mum had passed, she'd left me some inheritance, and I was like, what am I going to do with this? Oh, maybe I'll do that because I can earn money. And but at the same time, I'd done my Reiki Level 1 and Reiki Level 2, and I was like, oh, and it became very apparent very quickly that real estate was like not the thing to do. So that was a bit of a expensive learning curve,
Yeah.
very expensive learning curve. But yeah, started my Reiki business. And to be honest, like from day one, it was like, it just took off. It was insane. Like, yeah, I can't even, there are no words to describe. Obviously, it was a divine alignment and spirit was helping me. So that was pretty amazing. But yeah, that's kind of how I got into the spirit stuff.
So once you've started this business, it's took off. What was it that you thought, I'm going to get my master's in this? And like, what was that? What happened?
I I was still, because I started the Reiki thing, I was still living a little bit further away, and got everything set up, with the business online, URL, and registered the business, all that stuff. But um, I needed I needed to move further in again because it was too far away. It was good for what I needed at that time, but it was so far from my family and my friends and everything. And so I knew I wanted to come back. Actually, I live in Elwood now, which I love because it's near the beach. It's very kind of a relaxed vibe, and yeah, like it's so peaceful. I love the beach; it's my happy place. So I knew I needed to be near the ocean. Um, and then yeah, even finding the apartment that I'm in at the moment, that was again another journey, like looking for the right place at the price. Oh, I can't afford that. Spent months looking and then nothing. And I thought, oh, just for shits and giggles, I'll bump it up the price, and look at something a little bit more expensive. And then last minute, I thought, no, can't afford it. Like cancel all the open for inspections, but somehow randomly forgot about this one. I ended up here and applied and got it. And then I just thought, well, I'll just have to make it work. So
Yeah.
it did, which was amazing. And to be honest, I always knew I was going to do, like, I think once I started practicing more regularly, I was kind of teaching yoga, part time, and then doing Reiki part time. And then COVID hit, so that changed everything. 2 years of lockdowns in Melbourne.
Yeah.
But it was good in a way because I got my online stuff up and running, and the website and my booking system, and I was still teaching yoga online. So it was a bit of a crossover for a few years. But yeah, and did my mastership at some point in that time as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, and here we are. But it's so interesting though, Nat, like something that's coming up for me recently. When I reflect back on that time, I was so supported by spirit. Like I can't even tell you. And my clients come in. I was booked up for 3 4 months in advance. Wild, and working 6 days a week, seeing so many clients. Obviously, I've been out pretty damn fast. But then I opened a clinic and I had a team of, Reiki healers working with me, and like it was amazing. But I have to say, I was leveling up at the rate of knots. It was like boom, 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 like so fast. Look, I couldn't even,
Keep
like, I
up.
couldn't, yeah, I couldn't keep up. But at the same time, I was getting challenge upon challenge upon challenge in the form of, like health issues or Kundalini or other Reiki healers attacking me or coming at me. And at the time, I was thinking, what the hell? Like, why? It's just like, I just constantly feel like I'm pushing against something. And I have to say, like, if I didn't have that undeniable soul knowing. Like I remember I was doing Reiki here with a client one day, and early on, like maybe 3 or 4 months into my Reiki, practice, and I just had this wash of energy and this knowing of like, oh, I'm doing emotions again. Oh my God. Yeah, I just know I'm in the right place.
Yeah.
Exactly the right thing. And I can't describe it. Like it was just such a, I don't know where to point to. Heart, gut, like soul, like I don't know. All of it was just in like alignment.
Alignment.
Yeah, and if I didn't have that feeling, and it was like so momentary, but so transformative. If I didn't have that feeling though, I would be back in corporate probably because it's so much easier. Like this work is not easy, and you're right, it's not for the faint-hearted.
It's not. It's not easy. It's not for the faint-hearted, and it's a weird thing to have that knowing that this is where I'm supposed to be,
Yeah,
and then you keep going.
no matter what happens, whatever hurdle, and it's not like a little hurdle. It's like freaking Mount Everest again and again and again, and I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, okay, we're doing it again. Like it's
Oh,
crazy.
I can relate. Yeah. And you
Yeah,
just ebb and flow with it, and but the personal growth is the thing that I've found that keeps me coming back
yeah,
to it, that
yeah.
keeps me going, because we grow as we facilitate.
Yes, definitely.
With that practice of being present actually takes practice. And if you have got
Mhm.
clients that are willing to be present with you,
Yeah, yeah,
magic really does happen.
yeah.
When you get
It
two
does.
humans in a room, one flapping their hands around and the other one, lying there receiving it, the miracles that can happen is unbelievable.
Oh, like it just heals on a completely different, it goes way beyond the logical mind. Like that's not even a part of it really. Like we go right into the depths, and then from that deeper place, then everything else starts to turn and shift, and then we change perspectives and we understand things in a whole different way. And I think that's really how awakening happens.
Yeah.
Energy shifts from the inside somewhere where you can't even feel, you can't understand it, you can't touch it, but it's something is happening. I reckon I've had multiple awakenings throughout my life, on different levels, but
Yeah,
yeah,
me
it's
too.
just, and then another thing happens, and then a few years later, then another one happens, and it's like, wow, okay, it's like the veils just keep getting taken off, and yeah, it's really amazing.
And so when you sit from where you are now, with the perspective you've now gained through your own lived experience with energy work and energy practice being part of your life now for so long, like if you were talking to your old self, like that 20-year-old,
Yeah.
right, what would your advice to her be?
Mm,
Don't miss part 2 next week, where Casey shares the powerful message she would give her younger self and why it might be exactly what you need to hear too. If you enjoy this podcast, remember to like and subscribe and share it with someone that you think would benefit from this. Follow us on Spotify and all the podcasting apps that you may listen to your favorite podcasts through. The more we share these podcasts, the further the messages of the stories of awakening are spread. It's happening all over the world now. People are awakening, and it's an exciting time to be alive. The content found within these podcasts are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent disease. Nothing on this website is intended to diagnose, treat, or cure any physical or medical conditions. If you have any physical or medical conditions, you should seek the advice of your medical professional immediately.